How do? Welcome back. Well, today I'm going to taste my Saison. Here it is in the bottle. Nicely rock solid, nice and firm. Before I put it in the fridge, it was crystal clear. It's now hazy, so it's got a bit of chill haze. That's no doubt due to the rye and the wheat that was in there. But it's nice and cold now. It's been in the fridge for about 3 hours, and I've tried this, you know, from the hydrometer tube, and yeah, wow, it's it's very farmhousey. Let's get it open, and I'll remind you of the recipe. I did film myself, I think, brewing this, but I'll remind you of the recipe, and we'll see what it tastes like. I am using, not the cleanest, just cleaned it, but anyway, a Chimay goblet, or whatever you call these, because I thought it was appropriate. Right. Oh, there we go. That was a big hiss. A lot of CO2 coming off that. That's a good sign. These are meant to be very light-bodied and sparkling. And it certainly is. I don't think this is a nucleated glass, but the carbonation is just streaming up there. Let's have a look. Well, there it is. That's my Saison. Looks very nice. It's a little bit darker on camera than it is in real life. This is a pale yellow sort of colour. It looks a little bit more golden on camera. Very carbonated. It just used oh, for this I actually used carbonation drops, two carbonation drops from Wilco, which I think are the Muntons carbonation drops, but it's looking a very nice light hazy beer. Let me give it another tap. I didn't or two. I didn't clean it as well as I thought I did. Well, I like the look of that. That does look very sort of rustic with the haziness, the lightness of it. Let's have a smell. And it smells like a Belgium. It smells Belgium-y. There's a mustiness to it though. And yeah, little bit fruity, musty, bit of pepper in there, white pepper. Right. Smells really nice. It smells Belgium. Let me talk through the recipe before I take a taste. Here, I've got it up here. So I used extra light dry malt extract. This is the recipe actually for a 23 litre batch. I only did 12, so I doubled up. 1.5 kilograms of extra light dry malt extract. 1 kilogram of wheat dry malt extract. 250 grams of rye as a specialty grain, which was steeped for about half an hour, 20 minutes I think it was. Northern Brewer 5 homebrew units, HBUs, which is about, let's have a look, it's about 28 IBUs. So Northern Brewer, it was 6.4% alpha acid, 22 grams of that went in for 30 minutes. It was just a 30-minute boil. And then at 15 minutes I added 20 grams of dried orange peel, Belgium orange peel from Brew Firm, 10 grams of crushed coriander, that was also added at 15 minutes, and then at 10 minutes 30 grams of SARS. And it fermented at 29 degrees using 11 grams of Mangrove Jacks M29. I'm going in. Cheers. Oh, that's nice. So let's think about style guidelines. A Saison is meant to be light-bodied and highly carbonated and very refreshing. Well, it ticks that box. This is light. It's really nicely carbonated, and obviously the lightness of the body using extra light dry malt extract will help with the carbonation. Saisons are also meant to be dry. This is dry. This is dry. Sort of like puckering dry. Even your lips are dry. Style wise, it ticks every box. Flavour. There's very little malt in there. You can sort of detect a little bit of weakness to it. But by far the overriding flavour is the yeast. In fact, I'm not actually picking up any orange. A little bit maybe of the coriander, but not a lot of the orange. And I use 20 grams, so maybe that needs to be upped a little to about maybe 40. Because at the moment, this M29 yeast from Mangrove Jacks, it's a yeast I've never used before. I've used Belle Saison, the Lallemand Belle Saison, and that has a much more, I would think, generic Belgian flavour. I've never brewed with M29, and in fact I've looked on YouTube and I can't really see any videos of people brewing with M29 Saison yeast. I used 11 grams in 12 litres, and it is by far the overriding flavour. It's sort of like just covers everything else. Oh, that's nice though. So what's the yeast flavour? There's a mustiness there. There's like a farmhousey, well, some people explain it like horse blanket. I don't know what a horse blanket tastes like, but it's got that musty flavour to it. There's spices in there, like phenols, and a little bit of maybe a tad of like a banana. And pepper, white pepper, which of course is being helped by the rye, which gives it a nice spiciness as well. Oh, that's a nice, hey, that I thought I was going to have to change it when I've been taking these hydrometer samples. And of course that was a flat beer, and I thought I'm going to have to change this, maybe add some crystal, maybe use a pale extract rather than an extra light, maybe use a light extract, maybe add some crystal, 60 Lover Bond or something like that, just a little bit, just to give it some sweetness to offset. But it's surprising, give it time in a bottle, and it's only been a week. And give the carbonation changes the flavour. I don't know if you found that, but to me, when you're tasting a flat beer from a hydrometer tube, and then you taste the actual beer once it's carbonated, there's a big difference. Maybe it's your mouth shape. So obviously this is a very wide open mouth when I'm drinking. With a hydrometer tube, you tend to pucker your lips, and I have read that and watched YouTube videos that have discussed this, and that does actually change your perception of the beer. So actually, now I've got it in my hand and now I'm actually drinking it, I wouldn't change a damn thing except for the orange. And in fact I think I can drop the coriander. The yeast itself is spicy enough, but just maybe double the orange, just so I can get a little bit of that orange citrusiness coming through. Bitterness wise, I think, yeah, it's pretty much spot on, 28. It's not overly bitter, but there is a nice pleasant bitterness at the back just to finish everything off. And then you've got that really dryness to this beer. The hops are there, but they're well in the background. Mind you, it was only a... let's just have a look. It was only a 10-minute boil, so there wouldn't be much. I'm actually thinking now it's more in the aroma than in the flavour. Oh, that's a nice beer. I'm enjoying that. Oops, spilt a bit. Oh, that to me ticks every box for a Saison. That's bloody nice. Just with dry malt extract, you see. And it only took me a couple of hours to brew. In fact, I think this one was about less than that. Oh, I'm enjoying this. Oh, this is delightful. I'm really liking that. Oh! I think my mouth is starting to get used to the flavour and all those spices, and I'm picking up a little bit of orange in that sip. I just picked up a little bit of orange. Let me have another go. Now I know where to look for it. Yeah, there is. There is. It's not... I think what happens is that your palate just gets overpowered by that yeast. It sort of like blocks everything else out. I'm picking up the orange now. I'm starting to pick through all those spices, and I'm starting to detect the orange. And a bit of the maltiness is coming through, but it's very light. Extra light dry malt extract I use as a replacement for, say, Pilsner malt, so it's meant to be very light, biscuity. The more you drink of this, the more complex it becomes. Your first sip is just the yeast, but now I'm actually starting to pick up on that orange. Oh, this is really nice. This is a really nice Saison beer. I'm happy with this one. Right, another one down, and I think I'll be putting a few more of these in the fridge. Oh, I forgot to tell you the ABV. It's only 4.5%, so it's nice and quaffable. The original gravity started at 1040. And it finished, and this is why it's so dry, I've put it down as 1006, but I couldn't decide if it was 1006 or 1004, so let's just say it's 1005 for argument's sake, and that explains why it's so dry. That gives it an ABV of 4.5%, so it's quaffable. It's according to the BJCP guidelines, it's a table Saison, and that's what I wanted to create. I don't want one of these 6, 7, 8% Saisons, because they weren't that strong. You know, this is just commercial breweries sort of like reinventing Saison, and as they're a Belgian beer, and Belgian beers tend to be 7, 8, 10% and all of this, they brewed their Saisons to the same ABV. Actually, even 4.5% is strong for a traditional farmhouse Saison. They would have been as low as 2%, because people were drinking these throughout the day to refresh them so they could carry on working. Well, you're not going to work. You're not going to work after one 8% Saison, are you? So I wanted a table Saison. It's 4.5%, and I think it's cracking. I'm really happy with that. So there you go. Thanks for watching. It's been a pleasure, and I'm going to enjoy this now. Put a couple more in the fridge for this evening, and enjoy the rest of my Sunday. Bye bye for now.